Today on the channel, we're going to take a look at this BC Rich Virgin I bought for $100. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this BC Rich Virgin that I purchased. I got it for a little bit less than $100, which is a steal, and that was after tax. I found this, as you know, I always take a look. If you watch this channel anyway, you know I'm always looking for guitars, always shopping, like many of us probably watching. And I found this Virgin, no pun intended, really cheap. So I jumped on it and purchased it, and I'm really happy with it. We're going to do a sound test of this thing in just a little bit, but this is a made in Korea BC Rich. So I would date this thing back to about maybe 2006 to 2011, maybe somewhere in that range. So it's not super old, but it's nice. I've looked at some of the more recent ones, and this one's got some appointments on it that I like better. So I think these Korean BC Riches were some of the better ones from what it looks like. I want to basically pinpoint and zoom in on this Floyd Rose. It's a non-branded, licensed by Floyd Rose tremolo system, and it's really nice. Like, let's take a look at it a little bit closer up, right? So it doesn't say BC Rich on it. It's not a replacement. It doesn't say Jackson. It hasn't been modified. It's got a little bit of corrosion. So that indicates to me that this thing may be early 2000s. Who knows? But the Floyd is really stable. It stays in tune really well. Fine tuners were a little rough. I had to put some WD-40 on them and get those cleaned out so they spun better, but much better now. It's got these BC Rich humbuckers. These are probably ceramic humbuckers, I would think. I'm not going to take them out tonight and look at them, but they sound surprisingly well. The frets are nice on this guitar. I like the diamond inlays. And honestly, BC Rich, I used to have a Mockingbird. I had a Supreme Mockingbird that was unfortunately stolen from me, which sucks. I had it since the early 80s. Many years ago it got stolen. But BC Rich don't really appeal to me because I always think the bodies are a little bit divisive as far as shapes. But of all the BC Rich bodies, I think this one is probably one of my favorites. I like the Mockingbird shape, and I like this. I like the rounded back, and the horns I think look kind of cool. Surprisingly, there's little damage on the tips of these horns. A lot of times on these pointy guitars, you see serious damage on the horns, and you know, there's a little bit coming off there, a little bit of paint. This horn looks pretty well intact. The back side of these horns there's a little bit of damage. When I flip it over, you'll see that this has been evidently leaned against the wall. Maybe it hit a stand or something, or fell over, but it's got a little bit of a whammo there. So let me flip this over. We'll take a look at the back of it, and we'll take a look at the internal cavities, and take a look at the electronics and the tremolo system. Okay, so here we see the Made in Korea stamp. I haven't looked up the serial numbers to see how we date these, but if someone can identify that, put that in the comments. That'd be great. Otherwise, I can look that up. But when we look at the horn here, you can see it's suffered a little bit of damage. It's got a finish crack there, and I painted that over with some spray paint recently, just so it wouldn't be, you know, wood colored. And that horn there's got just a little bit of damage on it. Nothing major. Looks like the original tuners came with this, just cheap basic tuners. The neck on this doesn't have a plate. This one, I've noticed the Korean models have these sunk in ferrules and no neck plate, which I think it looks nice. It looks really cool. It's very round, easy to play, easy access to the upper register. Here we see a little bit more damage on this horn here, little chip. This one got just a little bit there, and got a little bit on here, probably where they put it on a stand. Maybe it hit the floor or fell over. Not perfect, but you know, for the price, I'm not going to complain. So inside, sorry for the glare of the lights here, guys. All right, so on the inside we've got your tone and volume and your basic foreign like pickup selector switch. I like to put a Switchcraft in there, something a little bit less chintzy than that, but so far it works good. I'm going to leave it alone. Here's our tremolo, nothing really fancy. The block isn't ultra thin, it's fairly decent sized block. So if we look down in there, we'll see what that says. Basically just licensed under Floyd Rose. So it's a licensed Floyd Rose tremolo, nothing major. I do have the covers, the plates that go on here, so that's all good to go. Back of this guitar, got a metal jack output. Got a little scuffs, some scuffs here and there. It's seen some wear and tear, but I love it. It's cool, and it sounds decent, and it plays excellent. This thing is set up. I set this thing up myself. Didn't really require much, but it plays great. I like how they had to put the strap button over here. There was no way to put it put it here, so here's the strap button on the top of that horn. All right, one last flyby of the Virgin before we do a little bit of an audio test. Hope you like this kind of content. Don't worry, guys, we'll be back to doing guitar lessons and different things as we progress. Sometimes I like doing gear reviews and showing some of these older guitars just for fun. I appreciate y'all watching. Please subscribe if you have not, and comment below.